Yes, welcome back to Cars of Sweden Live, folks, and today we're going to be taking a closer look at my Z4 and possibly why you should be considering buying something like this for your summer car. So let's go and take a look. Yes, so the BMW E85 Z4, which is a 2.5 SI model. Now, from 2006, BMW E85s had a facelift, so this is the facelift model. Now, the difference between the earlier ones and the facelift model were the fog lights at the front. They're like this shaped, when the older ones had a round circle, and of course the backlights as well. I think the backlights on the facelift look so much better than the sort of circular casing they had on the earlier editions. Right, so as you can see, this car comes with reverse sensors. It also has on the facelift models this white surrounding here of the indicator lights. And what else? Yeah, different design grille as well. Here you get this sort of blacked out and silver around the edges there. Now, obviously, this car has had some subtle upgrades, shall I say, but let's start with the front. As you can see, there's a splitter at the front here. I'm not sure, I think that's off of a Seat or something like that, but it fits this car perfectly. So that was done before I bought the car. Something else that was done before I bought the car, we can have a look at that. Let's just open the boot up, which is very important for Z4 owners, is the placement of the pump that the hydraulic pump that works the sunroof, because unfortunately they normally sit down here somewhere, and what happens is over time it fills up with water and that pump stops working because it gets water in it. Now, put it in there obviously solves the situation. And the cost of refitting one of those, I think, is around £1,000. So it's not exactly cheap. So it's something that you should consider doing if you ever did have a Z4. Now, let's talk about some of the things that I've done to the car. Right, if you look at the stance of the car, you can see it sits pretty low. I love it. I love the way the car sits. And it sits that low because I've changed the suspension out. Generally, if you buy a Z4, E85 Z4, and it hasn't had any kind of suspension work done, the back springs, I can guarantee you, will be cracked or broken. Definitely. So this is more of a service and an upgrade, if you can call it that. But it sits really nice at the back here. I like the way it sits there, and the front is lowered as well. You can't really see it now because it's on a slope here, so it looks pretty high, but it's a lot lower than that. But I'm really happy with the way it sits. Also, I have here is some spaces as well. So I've got some, I think it's 5 at the front and 15 at the back. And that really does push the car out nicely. It really gives it's right in line with the bodywork. So it's got that really smooth look, because the back arches are flared on the Z4s, and the wheels don't generally fill the arch, and I think it looks so much better when you fill it all out. Plus, like I said, I had the suspension done as well, so I had the car tracked after I'd done the suspension, so it really does sit on the ground really well. It's yeah. Plus, I did all the work myself as well there, so yeah, it wasn't the easiest things to do in my garage because there's not much room there, but I got it all done anyway. I mean, the whole purpose of buying this car was generally to do most of the work yourself. instead of paying somebody else. It's a bit of fun for me, and I decided when I bought it that if I could do the job, I would do it myself. So what else have I done? Okay, we can look inside. It's going to be a little bit controversial, I'm sure, but I put a set of these diamond mats in there, as you can see. Now, for me, what that does is, yeah, I think it looks quite nice, and also it breaks up the this kind of tan colour, because I'm not the biggest fan of tan. I actually like it in this car, to be honest with you, but I'm not the biggest fan of tanned cars. But I think that looks really nice. It kind of breaks it up really nicely with the black and tan. I quite like that. I think it looks quite stylish. I've seen some Z4s though that have sort of black hair with the tan, and I love that. So that could be an upgrade I do actually, is just to change this to black at some point. Now, obviously, if you watched the show last week, you would have seen that I changed the, well, I didn't change, we upgraded the car to power, or cruise control, sorry. If you can see it there. And that is a dream. I've been driving into Gothenburg the other day, feet up, no problem. And I literally bought this car in England. I drove it all the way back home to Sweden, and I drove right away across Germany. And after a while, my knee did begin to hurt because I had it on the accelerator like for hours and hours and hours. So that would come in really handy now if I ever took the car anywhere. Right, what else? Right. Stubby aerial, that's an essential. Alright, controversial on the BMW Z4 forum, I know that, but I like it anyway. Plus, my car has no purpose for an aerial anyway, because the guy who owned it before, he put this GPS style radio in there, so all my receiving comes through there as well. So that was there before I bought the car. What else have I done? Let's think now. Right, so the wheels are original. They're 18-inch rims on there. They came with the car as well. So yeah, I'm guessing that's about it at the moment. There was one thing I did do that I took out because it gave me a few problems. Right, if you can read it there, it says car MP3 interface, USB SD aux. Now, if you take the radio out, you can see it has a plug like that. So what you could do is you sort of take the original one out, you plug this one in to where the original came out of, and then you plug the original cable into there. And what it will do is it will give you a device that plays USB and whatever that is. I'm not really sure what that other one was for. I can't remember now. And it gives you an aux as well. So I had this in the car and I was playing USBs. It worked pretty well. The only problem was this comes with hands-free radio Bluetooth connection. And when I had this in the car, that didn't work. So I felt having hands-free was more important than having USB, because I've got an aux switch on there anyway, under there, as you can see. If you can see it under there, I'm not sure if you can. But believe me, there's an aux switch under there. So I thought, if I need to listen to anything, I can just utilize that instead. So that was an upgrade that I did, but I took out eventually. So if we just go over the features of the car, it's got power steering, of course. It's got paddles as well, up and down. It also has the sport button as well, which is essential. And it really does make an improvement in the car as well. It's the same kind of thing when you switch that over, pull it over to the sports side as well, and put it in manual mode. The car is a lot of fun. An absolute great car to drive. Now, obviously, mine has been upgraded a little bit, so maybe it's a bit more fun than the standard Z4s. But what I've done, regarding the suspension anyway, I found some reasonably priced coilovers. They're called AP. They're made by K&W, the German makers, and they were highly rated, so I threw them on, thought, let's see how they work, and they work pretty well. Now, the ride is a lot harder than what it was before, should I say. But so if you live in a place where you've got a load of potholes and things like that, maybe this is not going to be ideal for you. But if you live like me, and there are no potholes anywhere, this will suit you perfectly. Okay, so what do I intend to do with this Z4? Well, I'm thinking about upgrading the car. Just keep upgrading it, doing little bits and pieces. Nothing too severe, but like just, you know, doing interesting things. Like maybe at some point I'll swap these seats out for the sports seats. Yeah, I'm thinking actually maybe I'll put black sports seats in there as well, just to break up the colour a little bit more as well. I think I've seen black seats with the cream and it really does look good. So that's something in the future that I'm thinking of doing. Also, which I really want to do is the back box. Get a better sounding back box. I think these cars sound quite nice, but I know they can sound a hell of a lot nicer if you just tune up that back box a bit. So that's something I'm definitely going to do. And if you're out there and you can help me with these upgrades, then, you know, just contact me and we can make something happen. Right, so next thing to do is let's get this baby on the road and see what she does. Right, so as you can see, this car comes with the automatic box. I absolutely love the automatic box. You know, I'm not one of these like manual freaks, because these automatic boxes they're so fast and they're so quick that you can have just as much fun. Plus, you can also put it in manual mode and go up and down with the paddles. So it's kind of like the best of both worlds. I like that. And this is the 2.5 SI model as well. Now, 2.5, you might be thinking, Gary, what's going on there? But the SI models came with the M52 engines, so you gave you around 220 brake horsepower. And for me, doing what I do with the car right now, that is plenty much. Right, I'm sure you're picking up a lot of road noise now. Forgive me for that. I've got the top down, but these lovely smooth roads I have where I live, bendy roads, it's a pleasure to drive this car. I mean, the guys who set up the tracking and really did set up the suspension really nice, so it hugs the ground, and I love that feeling. And people often talk about the sport button on this car, about what it really does. Does it really give you anything? But it does. It kind of livens the car up a bit. So yeah, we've got a good temperature now, so if I press it now, I don't know if you can hear the change instantly. It really does sort of hold on to the gear and really give you instant power when you need it. No, it's not M power, but it's nice. You're definitely not going to be disappointed in this. Because I mean, when you look at this car, who is it competing with? It's competing with like the Mercedes SLK, maybe the MX-5, and yeah. Well, when it comes to the MX-5, they're great handling cars, but they don't give you that straight six smoothness when you're driving around in one of those things. Yeah, the SLKs will give you that, but and the AMG as well, which is equivalent to the M cars of this. But I think for the money, you cannot go wrong with what you get in a package like this. This car, if you own one of these cars, you know that they are solid. Yeah? There's no rattles. There's no. It feels like a brand new car. Everything feels solid, and if you look at the build quality as well, this car is what, 14 years old, and yet there are no worn out bits on it. So in conclusion, the title of this video was, should you buy an E85 Z4? And if, in my opinion, in my honest opinion, you definitely should. So I hope you enjoyed this show today. If you did, give it a like and subscribe if you want more. And we'll see you all again next week for some more Cars of Sweden live.